This is a side-by-side comparison of a generator using gasoline, propane, and solar power. Now, the first step in comparing those specifically to your needs is to list what are your needs. List what you hope to support in an emergency preparedness situation. A refrigerator, a freezer, a fan, electronics. And then what I suggest is you purchase a device called a kilowatt meter. And they sell on Amazon for $32. The one I like, the model is P3 International P4400. And I've done a previous video on this device. You plug it in the wall and then you plug in your appliance. So for example, with the refrigerator that I want to support, for a short while it will surge to 300 watt hours that's using, but very quickly it falls down to about 100 watt hours. And that's what you would look for to support that refrigerator if you had continuous running, about 100 watt hours. So the kilowatt meter can be extremely helpful, and I suggest you purchase one and test each one of the appliances which you want to support. Now, to be honest with you, something like a iPhone, it's 2 or 3 watt hours to recharge it. So pretty immaterial. But on the larger things like a refrigerator, a oxygen generator, the freezer, you want to test it and know what sort of pool that you're going to have, and that will help you size the type of generator that you're going to use. Now, I'm going to point out a profile of 3 different generators. I own 2 of those, and the third one, I have the previous generation. I have a Honda 2000. But the current model for mobile generators for Honda is the Honda 2200. And the gas tank is 1 gallon. It will run 3.2 hours at full load, 8.1 hours on 1/4 load. On Amazon, it sells for $999. It can produce up to 2,200 watts, and it weighs 44 pounds. So fairly mobile, and just absolute quality has been my experience with the Honda. The second one that I would profile is a Champion 2500, which I own the current model, the dual fuel model, and it currently sells on Amazon for $689. It has a 1.05 gallon gasoline tank that will give you 7.8 run hours per gallon. And if you run it on propane, a 20-pound bottle, it will run for a whopping 22.7 hours, and it weighs 43.2 pounds. Both the Honda and Champion do make noise, but fairly quiet. The third device generator is a Bluetti AC-180, which has 1,152 watt hours and currently sells for $999. Although my experience is you may be able to get them for $150 to $200 less than that if you can catch them on a sale. They weigh 35 pounds. It has a built-in handle, so it's easy to move. Now, you can also do some additional upgrades with this. You can get an extra battery that has another 806 watt hours for the cost of $699. I have not done that. Now, with the Bluetti AC-180, it's terribly quiet. It does, I think, have a fan that comes on once in a great while if it needs to dissipate some heat, I assume. But the main sound is going to be the fan or the refrigerator or the electronics device that you're running off of it. Now, you do need solar panels. Although I suppose you don't absolutely need a solar panel because you can charge a Bluetti three different ways. One is just through the regular AC wall socket, and that's what we do. 7 by 24, we have it plugged in so that it's fully topped off. Now, if there was a thunderstorm or a solar storm, yes, I unplug it, and so that it decreases the chances that it might be damaged. The second way you can recharge it is they give you the cord that goes into your car electrical outlet. And I've tested this, and it will recharge it at about 100 watt hours per hour. And then the third way is, of course, using solar panels. Now, what I did is I had a Renogy starter kit with two 100-watt panels that currently sell for $323 on Amazon and weighs 41.9 pounds. And I had this unit before the purchase of the Bluetti, and I just repurposed it. So in my mind, there was no additional cost. I don't think that would be the ready solution if you don't have solar panels. You want to look at a couple other alternatives. One is from Bluetti. They sell a folding panel, solar panels, that has 120 watts. It costs $299 and weighs 14.9 pounds, so quite mobile. Another arrangement that they offer is two 200-watt panels that sell for $299. But there's a very large list of other manufacturers than Bluetti who manufacture solar panels, which will work with their various models. So you have to look at the technical data if you want to do a mix and match of solar panels with the solar generator. So one other consideration, major consideration, is where do you live? So with solar, the closer you live to the equator, the more advantageous it is. So there's, as we all know, there's lots of sunshine in Florida, South Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, Southern California. So I think in all of those places you could have some amazing results with the solar generator being able to quickly recharge. Now, I live in an area that has 4 seasons, and when I tested the solar panels with the Renogy 100 watts, it was late in the fall, and it was a okay sunny day, and I was consistently recharging at 160 watt hours. So it would take you, 5, 6, 7 hours, and you would probably be able to recharge it from almost zero. Now, if you live in South Dakota in the winter, or Maine in the winter, I'm not sure the solar panels are going to be that efficient. Matter of fact, they're not going to be terribly efficient, and you need to have a backup. And so indeed, in my own particular case where I've mentioned it's 4 seasons, during the winter, you need another solution besides having the solar power. And so either the Honda 2200 or the Champion 2500 would be ideal for that. Now, another consideration is the fuel source. With gasoline, you have to be concerned about the gasoline going bad, there being a dangerous fire hazard having it on your property. I always store it outside. And I will say on the solar generators, I've heard so many good things and watched some very praiseworthy videos about the EcoFlow and the Jackery. I would hesitate investigating them as a possible solution. The main thing is look for a brand name that's known for quality and on Amazon has very high user ratings. Now, I have made an in-depth video, a separate video for the kilowatt meter, for the Honda 2000, the Champion 2500, and the Bluetti AC100. So I invite you to go back into the history of Dakota preparedness and watch those individual videos if you are seriously considering purchasing one. So, which generator is the best? Well, for you, you need to do some analysis. Get the kilowatt meter and find out what is the electrical usage for each electrical device that you want to support. And then also make an assessment of the area that you live in. I have lived in Southern California, I've lived in Florida, and I'm telling you, occasionally, even though they're known for a lot of sunshine, there would be days where it would not be very efficient. Likewise, having lived in South Dakota, in the summertime, those solar panels are just going to be screaming that they're going to be producing up close to their maximum. But in the wintertime, it could be extremely low. So you need to know the locality that you're in. Also, your risk level, if you will, on storing the energy source. Of course, with the Bluetti, the solar generator, there's going to be very little need to consider the maintenance of the energy source. You just plug in the battery to the wall socket. With the propane, there's also minimal consideration. Just keep it outside in a shaded area. You can certainly have a roof over it. That's what I do. But you're going to do some maintenance on your dual purpose generator. You have to maintain the proper oil levels. And I only use exclusively the propane, but if you use the gasoline feature, you're once again going to have to be in consideration to how long that's stored. And once again, I'd recommend non-ethanol gasoline. And then once again with the Honda, you have to consider the availability of gasoline. And once again, I try to only use non-ethanol. But all three of these, the Honda, the Champion, and the Bluetti, are absolutely brand names, high quality. So you really will be adding a new capability, whichever one that you pick, or several of them. And someone might validly ask, why do you have three? Well, I guess it was probably 7 years ago I bought the Honda 2000, and at that time the solar generators and the propane generators were not quite as popular. That was the top of the line then, if you will. And then a few years ago when I bought the Champion dual fuel, they were really getting into their stride, and so it was the next generation of technology. And then finally I read so much about these solar generators and viewed them through YouTube videos, it was like, I've got to get one. And I was not at all disappointed. So all three are robust solutions. If you found this video helpful, please click like and subscribe. It helps the channel and it helps the community. Be prepared.